What's up, everyone? Welcome to the very first episode of Path Past You podcast alongside Alex Cedric and Chris Calandrillo. I am Anthony Allegretta. Feels good to finally get this off to get it going here, huh?
Yeah, thanks, Gary Bettman.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Took you long enough. We're excited. This should be fun.
Yeah, let's get right into it.
Hope you all enjoy it.
Yeah. It's going to be chock full of hockey and
No choice, you have to listen.
chock full of hockey and wrestling. I love it. Let's go right into it. Surprises and disappointments. This is Chris brought this one up, didn't you?
I did. Yes.
Yeah, good. So I'll let you lead it. Who's your biggest surprise, I guess? I don't know how you want to do this. Want to do forwards?
Well, I'm thinking more along the lines of teams. Like,
Okay.
The biggest surprise, I like the fact that now you have the Islanders, you have Toronto, teams like these that are actually competitive right now,
Yeah.
really, because they're stealing points away from the teams that should be getting it, i.e. the New York Rangers.
I.e. the New Jersey Devils.
But the Devils fall into a surprise because they have, 9 wins already.
Yeah, and
The Rangers are a disappointment because, in theory, everybody thought Rangers-Devils would be flip-flop.
flip-flop.
Yeah,
Yes,
totally.
yeah.
Not the case right now.
Yeah.
Because
And you would think with losing a heart and soul player and a talent like Zach Parise, that,
Who's Pete DeBoer's system is for Zach Parise.
Yeah.
It's
so for them to gel this much as a team
Right.
is just completely unfathomable.
Well, they've got
you know?
Bobby Butler now. He's the new guy.
he's
Yeah.
in the number 9. Yeah. Shut up! I like Bobby Butler. I like that
I
pickup.
know you did. That's why I brought it up.
I'm really surprised at Chicago just because
How do you not
I
lose?
knew they were talented.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. And, Patrick Kane, Toes, they're both ripping it. I wouldn't have foreseen that they're dominating as much as they are.
Yeah, they're on
So,
fire.
yeah.
I mean, it's scary, but I think at some point they will come down to earth.
They-
You
you would-
cannot keep this up.
Yeah, you'd think that, right?
There's no way. I don't think they can keep it up, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were at the top of the conference end of the season. at all.
My Stanley Cup pick from the beginning of the season still looking pretty good. San Jose.
Columbus,
That's right.
San Jose. Columbus. You mean hockey?
Well,
hockey hell.
I'll be honest,
Rangers South.
Rangers South. Rangers South.
Columbus has surprised me because they're not playing completely terrible.
No,
Their
they're really
record-
not.
Their record, is horrible. They're second to last place, but they're putting together, strings of good periods. Mason looks somewhat like the form that he did when he was the.
He's getting. It seems like he's getting back.
Look who's in charge now.
Yeah, exactly.
You got
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
not going to stand for this nonsense. He already fired Housen.
Yeah.
Good move.
After the Nash debacle in the offseason.
I don't know much about their new GM.
I don't
Uh,
Yeah, that's all I know too.
I love it.
Jarko.
Yeah, I love it. I figured you would love it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But no, I think Columbus is on the up.
Which is good for the league because that's a hockey mad
Yeah.
city. Like a lot of people don't realize it. The fans there are pretty, into their team.
It's competitive.
Yes.
Well,
Yep.
what else are you gonna do in Columbus?
Well-
It's nothing.
Yeah, it's right.
Flag.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that where Ohio State is? Isn't
Yeah,
Ohio State
it's-
Columbus around there?
Yeah.
But they're not bowl
Yeah.
eligible. So.
Well, there's talk that they're gonna name Dubinsky the captain, which would be an.
Oh, they don't have a captain now.
No, they don't.
He's already an alternate for them.
Is
Yeah,
he?
but no, but they're.
I would have
talking
thought
about
was
how they're
I would have thought a guy with Wisniewski.
Who's their captain now?
They don't have one on
gonna-
there.
Yeah, they
They
don't.
don't? Oh.
I don't think so. Let me find out.
It's Vaclav Prospel.
Yeah. Oh, hey, it's Rangers
He's-
South.
yeah.
They got more former Rangers.
Rangers West, okay.
See, Prospel, Tootin.
Yeah.
I want them all back.
Well, I'd take Tootin back. He'd be a nice,
Absolutely.
nice sixth
Shove
defender.
Stu Bickle to the curb. Punch
Who
him in the
was
face.
he a trade or is he
Yeah.
Tootin?
Uh,
Who they?
Nick Zherdev.
Yeah.
Ah, Nick Zherdev,
Enigmatic one, who
the
scored
enigma,
one big goal in his life for the Rangers.
and did the slide
that
across
was
the
a
ice.
big
Remember?
goal.
It's a great goal.
Yeah.
I think it was against the Penguins.
Yeah, I was at that
You
game.
were. Nice.
Yeah.
Were you?
We went crazy.
Yeah.
So
It was
awesome.
unexpected.
Yeah, he went. He took it coast to
what?
coast.
Yeah. I'll never forget Dave Maloney. Oh, I tell you, Sam. Oh, what a stunt by Zherdev. Oh, I'm so stunned. Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
It
So
was a great goal. It was solid. But back,
yeah, I can't find their captain. I don't feel like going into it. So
like back to Alex was saying, they are kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean 30th. I mean you can't really be a surprise, but
You know who's?
it hasn't been as bad.
No,
Yeah.
it's not because
I
I
think
thought they'd be even worse. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Losing
Yeah.
a player like Rick Nash, you thought they would just be losing
Yeah.
7-0 every game.
yeah,
And they're really not.
No, they're
No.
competitive to an extent.
And I know a lot of people would label them as a disappointment, but the LA Kings to me are not really a disappointment because I didn't really think they were that good last year to begin with.
no.
They had a great run, and
The
they're just
matchup,
doing the
they-
same thing.
They're a beneficiary of
They
matchups.
caught
Exactly.
fire
Yeah, at the
right time.
Yeah. I mean, granted, they have a very deep offensive system.
Yeah.
They have 3 lines they could roll at any time, and they could put it in the net, but their defense, they've had a lot of injuries, and at the same time, again, they're just not really that threatening. Besides Doughty, it's really not an imposing defense where you're like, okay, every defensive pair can shut people down. It's not how they're built. So
Yeah. I think they almost have too much talent for their own good.
yeah,
I mean, I don't think that's a problem, but
It is this year.
well, yeah, it looks like it. I mean, you know.
well, it seems to be also again back to the locals with the Rangers. They've never been a team really built on talent. Even with Yager, they've had a couple supporting players.
Bure.
Yeah. But now they actually
Yeah,
have...
I busted up Pablo Bure.
Get me started on
5 minutes into a podcast,
Pablo
your
Bure.
first Pablo Bure reference.
Nice, thank
yeah, that should be a running tally. That's
Yeah.
a drinking game at home. All right? Anytime Pablo Bure is mentioned, shots.
Shots.
He started off good back in 2002 when
Yeah.
I came to the Rangers, but then now my knee hurts.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna agree on the biggest disappointment, but I'll let you guys say it. Okay, who do you think?
Oh, you tell me. Go ahead. What?
Washington?
No.
No, really?
Go
Who?
to the
Yeah.
wall.
Who? It's not a disappointment when you have no goalie. You
Well,
know?
Holy
Wait,
shit.
Oh yeah, this is
and
Alex's.
fucking
This is
Braden-
Alex's.
Braden Holtby, seriously, honestly, Braden Holtby was the biggest system goalie. He's a Chris Mason. He benefited from that playoff run because they were blocking shots. They took down the bottom half of the net. He's a good glove. That's it. He is too big for a goaltending position, and it shows without their defense, without blocking shots. He is a sieve back there. Wayworth was never good. He could be a good backup for someone. He's not a number one. And they got to trade for Luongo or do something if they really want to rectify the season.
Ooh.
The best goalie they've had is now in Colorado.
Yeah.
Colorado.
well, Kolzig.
Well, yeah.
Decent time.
Okay.
Olaf,
I'm
yeah.
thinking
Well, you said their best goal they've ever had. So.
Olaf
they've had
Kolzig.
right now.
Okay,
My bad,
okay,
sorry.
okay. Man, maybe that'd be a really interesting trade though. Luongo to the Caps.
I don't know who they'd give
That-
up for
yeah,
it, but
I mean, I think you're starting off with at least 2 first-round picks.
probably because I don't think they have the system to give any prospects really.
Well, they have
get a roster player in return. Somebody of some
Well, no, they have a couple good young forwards. I know they picked up some Russian kid, obviously.
What is
yeah, what? In this draft, and I think they had some. I think Stanislav Galev or something like that. He's supposed to be really good next year. So, I mean, that could be your starters right there. But,
All right, just a hypothetical. I'm not saying that any GM would ever do this, but let's just throw it out there and see. What if you offered a straight up Ovechkin for
I
Luongo
was
trade?
thinking that right now.
were you
I
really?
was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, again, I'm not saying that they should do it. I'm just.
It's just for shits and giggles, you know.
Would you do it if you're Washington, or if you're Vancouver?
I consider it.
If I'm Vancouver, absolutely.
Yeah.
If I'm Washington, no.
I would consider it if I'm.
Yeah.
For both teams, I'd definitely consider it only because.
Yeah. It addresses a lot for both teams.
Yeah, you need the goal.
Yeah.
You're not gonna win if you can't stop the pucks. You can find people to put it in.
Yeah.
But
It'd be awesome if that happens, and then Ovechkin goes back to scoring like 60 goals a year.
Yeah.
That I would have to be as a hockey fan. I'd love that.
and then Vancouver.
It would
finally
be nice.
Wins, yeah, you know, yeah,
Whoop-de-doo.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think the riot would be for that one if they actually win? You think it'd be peaceful? Or you think they actually riot?
You're right.
We run!
We finally fucking won. No, don't do that. You won. Celebrate. Be merry.
Yeah.
Confetti, not fire.
a lot of the beat writers saying that Adam Oates' system is too complex for the Capitals, and I thought that was funny.
All right, simplify.
they're full of dummies. That's why.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
He's probably playing stuff like, all right,
Give me puck.
he's probably saying stuff like, all right, cycle on the boards, get out to your point, and take the shot low for a rebound, and they're probably like, huh?
Yeah.
Mark Green's like, wait, shoot this high, glove side. All right, so who's your disappointment, Chris? Is it L.A. or? 'Cause I was going with L.A. I went with Washington.
LA, like Alex said, they're not too much of a disappointment per se, only because they were a victim of just having the right spot last year. They were in the right spot. They
Mhm.
got the right draw. I didn't think they necessarily had the best team.
The Devils didn't either, but they
Exactly.
benefited from matchups. They matched up.
Devils had a great matchup.
The hardest matchup the Devils had was Florida. I mean, not including L.A., which I'm still bitter over, obviously.
Yeah.
But they matched.
Wait.
They met.
So, we're getting this straight. You're saying Florida was a tougher matchup than the Rangers?
Their speed is why. Their speed totally Anton Volchenkov was a pylon that whole series. I mean you saw Kreider burn him a couple times too.
Yeah.
But I mean the Flyers, forget about it.
Oh yeah.
The Devils matched up perfectly against the Flyers. Those skilled
The Flyers in the playoffs.
yeah, those skilled teams you always have to you forecheck them, and they break down. The Rangers it is hard. I mean, I guess because I'm looking at one was a 7-game series, one was a 6-game series. I don't know. I mean, it's probably It's two different series.
Yeah.
The Rangers block shots. Florida let you take your shots. You know, it's.
I'm just going off what you said.
No, yeah, I know, yeah. I mean, do you disagree? Do you?
I mean, Florida was a difficult matchup for them. Again, nothing exists in a vacuum, so it's really tough to say because, again, with that matchup with the Rangers, they're coming off 2 back-to-back 7-game series. You could see the fatigue. So I don't know if you talk about if they're the first round matchup, is it a different matchup? Is it a different series? You don't know.
Right.
Again, nothing exists in a vacuum.
Yeah.
With that being said, I would not say that Florida is a tougher matchup for the Devils than the Rangers because you still have Lundqvist. They have Jose Theodore.
And no, they played both. They played.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went with Theodore and Clemenson.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, the Devils were a few minutes away from losing the series.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, game 6.
Yeah, I was at that game.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a good story for you to tell.
Yeah, it is. It is. It was lots of bro hugs. Lots of bro hugs.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So you guys still haven't said a disappointment?
I said mine.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the Rangers are disappointed.
Really?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. They're disappointed.
Really?
Not because
Even adding such a. Go ahead.
Because they're my team. Horribly inconsistent. They've lost their dedication to defense.
And that power play is just
Absolutely.
anemic.
Yeah.
Now you know what we went through for 20 years.
They had 7 on 4. They wouldn't score.
Yeah.
It's just play a 5-on-5 game. You're gonna be better.
Yeah, and Chris and I are both Ranger fans, and I think we could both agree. The weird thing about the power play is you have snipers like Gabrick and Rick Nash. They're not even looking to shoot. They're not putting themselves in positions to shoot.
They don't move.
Yeah, they don't move at all. I mean,
they don't have anybody in front of the net.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love Ryan Callahan as a player. He can't be the guy at the top of the crease.
Exactly.
He's a small guy. This is where somebody like Brian Boyle could be of use. What is he,
Absolutely.
6'4", 6'5"? Just put him there.
Yeah, he's a tall dude. My brother said this, and I agree. And I'd also said they could just even look at a power play like Washington. But he was talking about how, if they just watch videos from the 1994 power play, how efficient that was.
Different times, though. I mean,
different times.
You didn't really have that umbrella,
Different times. But, at the same time, there's some logic in that, even maybe bringing in a Brian Leach to consult with the power play. But the point is they have to do something with that.
This brings me back to, 05, 06, 07, 08, where Roosevelt to Straka, back to Roosevelt, back to Yager, break a stick.
Yeah.
It's always looking for Yager back in the time. Now, I don't even know what they're looking for.
Well,
over the glass.
Unfortunately, Rick Nash has to be less selfish, less unselfish. Right now, he's trying to.
He's trying to impress everyone.
He's trying to be the best teammate ever, which is so great and so politically correct.
But it's not going to put points on the board,
But he needs to start scoring on the power play.
He's been really good, though.
I do too. It sickens me that I say that because he's one of my favorite players. But I think he's been their best player so far.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
I mean, I haven't watched many Ranger games, but
and usually that title.
Just like that.
That title usually belongs to Lundqvist with Rangers, but right now it's definitely Rick Nash. And you have some players who are again maddeningly inconsistent in terms of a Gabrick where he'll put up 5 goals and then disappear for 4 games. Brad Richards is deceptively inconsistent this season. He's got 10 points, but at the same time he's just playing like dog shit.
He played 48 seconds in the third.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
how much?
48 seconds, and then he took the first shift in overtime.
Yeah,
and then he benched to bench him because he knows what he.
That is good though. You have some level of accountability.
Well, and also
there's gotta be more.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, well,
be more accountability.
I mean, he's also very fortunate that he played with him in Tampa. He's got that rapport. He knows that hey, if I bench him, it's not gonna have an adverse effect. It's going to inspire him to play better.
He knows I can get benched. Doug Richards, I can probably get benched if I don't pick up my game.
Exactly.
Their best player in the last 2 weeks has been Carl Hagelin.
Absolutely.
Yeah, even against the Islanders, he had a goal and an assist, didn't he, or something like that?
A little sweet that could.
He's fast. He's a fast kid.
So quick.
But that'll die down.
Oh, absolutely.
This will stop and he'll go another 25 games without a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean like Travis Zajac right now?
At least Zajac brings a hell of a lot more to the team.
No, I know. I have this argument with my friends all the time.
So yeah, I think the Rangers are definitely my disappointment.
That's your disappointment?
Because everybody had tremendous expectations for him.
Yeah.
And they're not delivering right now.
My whole thing with them is that a lot of new components. Even if you had just one player, Rick Nash changed the complexion of that team.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it's taken them a while to gel. So I mean, just give them a couple more. I mean, you don't really have too much time.
But I'll take your argument there. Their strongest point from last year is fully intact again this year.
Yeah.
They have the same defenseman.
Yep.
Yeah,
Same defenseman.
Yeah, and their defense has just been
Girardi
abhorrent.
and McDonough have been a shell of themselves. You notice every game, Stahl and Delzato are getting bigger minutes. Much bigger minutes.
Do you like that?
No.
I wouldn't either.
No, because I don't mind Stahl getting the bigger minutes. I don't like Delzato getting the bigger minutes because he's
too
not
many
a
lapses
physical
in
presence.
judgment.
He can throw the body once in a while, but he's not McDonough and Girardi.
Yeah.
Those guys get in the lanes, block the shots, and they're not afraid to throw people around.
Well, I don't like the fact that, Tortorella's system in general, where you have a couple players getting these exorbitant amount of minutes, and you have a player like Matt Gilroy who's serviceable. He's not bad. He's got upside, and he gets 10 minutes a game. I mean, come on.
10, that's generous.
Yeah. I mean, that just can't happen.
You can't have all these people with less than 10 minutes playing.
Yeah.
It's going to catch up to you.
Especially in this shortened season, things don't heal as quick as they do when you get the days off. And I'm sorry, you can't manage a team like that in a lockout season.
I mean, personally, I was a fan of having Stu Bickle at right wing and playing 4 minutes and 30 seconds a night. It's a waste. It's a waste.
Yeah.
But enough about the Rangers. And tell me about your team.
I honestly, I mean, I think like a lot of people, I thought they were gonna make the playoffs. I thought they were gonna be scratching for maybe the 6th seed.
That's what I thought.
When I did my little prediction things, I thought 6th place again. Zach Parise is why. It's definitely been a breath of fresh air to see that it's maybe the system, not so much the player.
Yeah.
It's like a standard Devil season. Marty's not looking like he's 40. He's looking like he's 30. I mean, that's probably a little bit
I'm tired.
a stretch. Yeah.
Just get old.
Yeah.
Please get old.
I mean, you're fat. How are you not getting worse?
Get old.
Do you think, for instance, a lockout season benefited someone like Henrique?
Well, he was
hurt, injured, but the idea is he's not going through that, dreaded.
He doesn't have that.
Slump.
Him and Larson. Larson is my big part with that because you saw he's never played more than I think 60 games in a year. I don't know what the Swedish league plays. Chris, that's your expertise. How many games does the Swedish league play? Is it like 68? Like the OHL does and stuff? No, really?
No.
Okay.
Go on your iPad. Go to eliteprospects.com. We'll find out Adam Larson where he played.
But you could see it with more rest. Even in the playoffs, he started playing he got a little more comfortable. I mean, he took the hit from PK Subban last year, and I heard him. And I think that effed with his head a little bit. But him getting more ice time this year, I mean, after starting as a healthy scratch, being able to watch it, I think the blockout has benefited him the most out of anyone on the team so far. I mean, he's not putting up the stats, but he's making the small plays that the defense isn't.
I'm just really surprised at how strong that defensive core of the Devils really is.
With no name.
Yeah.
With no name.
I mean, when Bryce Salvador is your
captain.
Defender, how does this happen? But again, like you're saying, just classic Devils. The system prevails as always, and much to the chagrin of all Ranger fans everywhere, you can't get a down season with that team, and it's.
I love the Devils.
One thing that pissed me off yesterday, I'm not gonna say what Facebook page it was, because I know a lot of people who listen to us listen to them.
Yeah, don't be doing.
No, because they might be on here maybe one of these days. But anyway, someone was saying that Zelensky is one of the worst Devils of all time, which I highly disagree with.
He was awful when he first came here.
Oh, absolutely. I was the first one. I said that too. I didn't want the trade. He has made that power play work. Yeah. Like not just him, but he's the element they've needed since Rafalski left.
Look at his shot last night.
Yeah, beautiful shot.
It's crazy.
I think a lot of people it was right after a 5-1 loss to the Islanders, which the Devils did not show up really. Which is 2 games in a row that happened. Don't give me that Flyers stuff. That was a terrible game. But he knocked the puck in his own net, but it was a bouncing puck and it hit off a skate. So it's like, and then I think after that everyone's like, oh, he put it in our net. Rah.
Not to jump back, but we didn't really talk about the Flyers. Do they rank as a surprise or a disappointment? I mean, what were the expectations of
Their
that team?
start was surprising. I think they've gotten pretty much back, and then they kind of went dipped again. So I don't know.
Because they have such a young core, you kind of expect this inconsistency.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea, I don't think anyone would have ever guessed that they would have come out the gate like they did.
I think they should be better than what they are.
I absolutely agree.
You got Giroux.
You get humongous big goaltender.
Humongous big universe.
Yeah.
A Russian cosmonaut.
I've been saying this to a lot of people and anyone who wants to listen about it. I really do think they need to trade, whether it's Matt Reed, Cotier, Vora, blah, blah, blah. They need to trade one more young forward and do a similar Van Riemsdyk trade where they get another young core defenseman. Pronger's never coming back. And
Which is such a sad thing to say, because I mean, as much as I hate him as a Flyer,
He's a
he's so good.
oh,
Yeah.
He's so good at what he does.
He's a presence.
And in the playoffs, he's like close to a point per game in his career.
He's big back there.
yeah,
Absolutely.
but I mean, without that, when Brizgalov is your goalie, who's a good system goalie, above average goalie, without a strong defensive core, they're going to be a mediocre team, and Brizgalov will look like a sieve. And if they get another young defender, that at least will shut down that a bit and maybe give Brizgalov a little bit less pressure, and maybe he'll thrive. I doubt it, but we'll see.
Back to your Adam Larson.
Yes.
87 games in the Swedish Elite League for Skellefteå.
Wow.
In his carear.
Yes.
Okay.
That's on the main level of Swedish Elite League.
Okay, so it's,
how many years did he play?
I think he was 2.
Since 07, since 08-09, he played one game 08-09 in the big leagues. Before that, he was doing under 18.
Under 18.
Yeah. He played 49 games in 09 in 2010, 17 points that year. So I mean, Swedish Elite League, you're not going to get that many points as a defenseman.
No, but my whole
he's still a good player and played a high level. That's
against
a high level league.
it's a teenager playing against men in that league.
Absolutely.
That's why I wanted him. I wanted him in September before the rankings came out. I mean, I hope the Devils tank and get him, and they did that.
Hey, it worked.
But no, back to the Devils. How can you not be excited? I mean, and then you got Lou making his trades already.
Yeah.
Steal. I think it's a steal of a trade. I mean,
Which one?
A pony?
for Ponikarovsky.
Pony?
Yeah, my little pony.
And Pony's cap hit is pretty reasonable too.
1 point something, I think it
Yeah.
is, and it's only for a year.
Yeah.
But he was a victim of the Zach Parise stuff. So I mean, I think he's a great Devil. I think he's a great fit. But he's not going to get points. He's going to make those important plays. He's going to win those battles on the board. He's going to cycle. He's going to take the extra second to make a pass for a guy who's open. He makes the smart plays. That's why Devil fans can't get too into the whole he's not scoring. It's not always about scoring. Like you said before with Travis Zajac. Yes, he didn't score since the second game of the season, but he's the best team. He's 6th in the league in faceoffs. He kills penalties. Yeah, he does everything you want out of a top center, which is why I don't mind that 8-year contract.
Yeah, he's going to be a good Devil for life.
Yeah.
Is this a good segue? Buyouts?
Buyouts. So should we start with the typical ones who we can kind of all agree that they'll probably get bought out? Like for instance, like a Rick DiPietro.
Yeah, I as much as I hate that, I mean, just because of the injuries, I think so.
It's a good option.
I mean, especially now that they're trying to sell the Islanders, I don't think any owner is going to want to come on.
With a 15-year.
Yeah.
How many years? He has 10 years left, I think, on that.
Hold on.
Chris and Grady.
Yeah. Now, would you buy out if you're, for instance, Tampa Bay? Would you buy out LeCavalier?
No, because he's still. Well, what's his cap hit?
It's like.
It's 8, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
around
8.
there.
This year he's actually doing very well. I think he's at a point per game. He's got like 5 or 6 goals, a lot of assists this year. So he's come back to form. But at the same time, with his advanced age, are you really going to take that risk that knowing that you have your one buyout this summer and that's it?
Yeah.
This is your chance. If you want to lock up Stamkos and really concern yourself with that, can you, if you're a mid-market team with that cap hit with LeCavalier?
Right.
LeCavalier, $7.7 million a year till at least 2018, 2019.
See, I mean, if I'm the GM,
So 6 more years.
You got to buy him out.
There's an arrow next to this. It means another year. At least.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot.
Oh yeah, so a lot of years for that.
Yeah.
But then again, they still have $6 million of cap space.
Yeah, still.
amazing.
So I
It's
mean,
amazing because they have $15 million tied up between LeCavalier and Stanford.
and he is their captain.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's tough, he was the face of the franchise for so long. He put them on the map, made them relevant. But at the same time, it's a really tough cap hit. And
Yeah.
yes, the shortened season helps veterans because they only have to do it so long. But who knows if he'll be this good next year again,
Exactly.
He might go back to 2 years ago.
He could be like this year. He'll be the benefit of a short season.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The full season.
Yep.
What you're gonna get.
Yep.
Buyouts. I just want to say, you got to take a look at Vancouver though, because some of these.
That's actually where I was gonna go with it. Yeah.
Ryan Kessler has 3 years left at $5 million. He's like dead every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a legitimate option.
Please tell me you've got to have seen that the GIF right when he's it's a face off against Brad Richards in the playoffs. Oh, I'm sorry, Mike Richards, and they lean into each other, and he sprawls all over the ice. Have you seen that?
No.
It's so funny. It's on YouTube. You have to see it. It's
That's a reason.
the dive. The dive is just ridiculous.
Well, here's another guy. David Booth.
Yeah.
David Booth.
He's not that good.
He's a 20 goal guy. I think he's a 20 goal guy.
$4.2 million.
Well, unfortunately, that was industry standard, and I mean, like even a team like Buffalo, Drew Stafford, was he 4.5? Dubinsky's at 4.5, 4.7, something like that. You have these ridiculous contracts that players are not living up to, and while they're still valuable assets to a team, their cap hits are ridiculous.
Yeah. You know what? My theory is the less money you give somebody, the more you're going to get out of them.
Absolutely.
David Clarkson.
And especially less years, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody's play on 1 year, $1 million. That's it.
Yeah.
Then you'd see the numbers put up in this league you wouldn't have ever seen.
So I'm going to bring up a controversial one, and it's definitely going to be interesting with our local flair.
I know. Go ahead.
Would you say Brad Richards?
Ooh, that's a nice curveball. Chris has a smile on his face.
No, I wouldn't do it because I don't think Torts will allow it.
He probably won't.
He's a Torts.
But
and I mean, the money's ridiculous. It makes
really
sense
ridiculous
because of the money. But I still think he's a good fit for this team, especially because you're going to have him longer because you're probably not going to bring back Gabrick.
No, Gabrick's probably gone.
He's probably going to be gone after next year, which is unfortunate. I'd love to see him back, but he's giving the man too much money.
Yeah.
I think you would keep Richards around.
The
presence that he has in the locker room. He's
Yeah.
been there before.
Yeah.
He has the ability to put up major points. He's in a funk right now,
Yeah.
obviously, but I don't think I would get rid of him.
So the only reason why I would say, in favor of getting rid of Richards is because you have this horrible situation next year.
Oh.
You have Stepan, Hagelin, McDonough, all RFAs. And then you're going to talk about, in a couple years with Kreider, then JT Miller, and even Stahl's contract runs out in a couple years. So you have a lot of contracts that you have to take care of. And I don't know what the cap situation is going to be.
Yeah, the cap. I was going to say the cap. I think is dropping.
It's dropping to 64.5.
Yeah.
But
so that's what 10 million less than what it is now.
Six
something.
Yeah, it's about 6.
A lot.
But
a whole contract.
Exactly. A whole superstar
Yeah.
or 2 or 3 mid-level talents. The idea, though, is you don't know what it's going to be raised in the near future.
Right.
I mean, if Bettman has his way, it seems like it would just stay the same forever to really appease, Florida and a Phoenix especially.
That's another topic we can get into.
But again, it's a really tough decision because you really do have to think of the future. And for once, the Rangers are set with a lot of young talent that you can make a decision that's unpopular like that and buying out of Richards. And you maybe not be worse for the wear.
No, you make a good point. Listen to this. Next year, Stepan, Hagelin, McDonough, all restricted. The year after that, these are all unrestricted right now. Gabrick, Callahan, Boyle, Taylor Pyatt, Darryl Poe, Aaron Asham, Dan Girardi, Anton Stroman, Stu Bickel, Marty Biron, and Henrik Lundqvist.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's even just focus on this summer.
Yeah. It's a murky swamp.
Well, and also to think, look what the Flyers tried to do with Shea Weber. That humongous offer sheet. You don't think they do the same thing with Ryan McDonough, who's 22, 23? They could sign for life.
If somebody gives McDonough a gigantic contract and offer sheet, the Rangers will match it.
They will, but at the same time,
you think so?
I think
you think so?
You have to match
think so?
it. You have to.
McDonough, they will.
But
Other guys, no.
the unfortunate thing is with matching McDonough's whatever, if someone gives a ridiculous contract, that at the expense of Stepan and Hagelin.
Your hands are tied.
So
absolutely.
That's going to be a really tough negotiation, and McDonough's got to be the priority over the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And again, a buyout with Richards makes that process a little bit easier, but you also lose your number one ostensibly center.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Valid points. He makes plenty of sense. It's going to be a problem for them.
I know.
They're in the most trouble for the next couple of years out of any team in the league.
Yeah.
By far. That's why this year
it's so important for them.
It's a win now.
Absolutely.
They're not going to win.
What do you think about LA? Do they buy out anyone? Like, for instance, a Richards, a Carter? I mean, they both have huge hits for life.
No, those two are interesting options.
Yeah, I mean, out of them, I'd probably go Carter. Just because I think
so much.
I think Richards adds more to the table too.
Yeah, he's definitely a heart and soul guy.
Yeah.
Locker room presence. Carter is more of the party boy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Roll Richards is too.
Richards is too, but I think again, I'm not in the locker room. I don't know, but if I were just to look at it from afar, I would say that Carter was the influence and Richards was the dumb guy that just went along with it.
Yeah.
That makes plenty of sense.
And I think and from what they're trying to do there with that higher energy forecheck and stuff, he's perfect for their system.
Yeah.
The Kings are an interesting option for.
So yeah, I would go Carter.
Yeah.
Um,
Why don't they buy out Yari Curry? Is he still playing?
is he still Luke Robitaille? Is he still? I know he's still there.
What about so back to Vancouver? If Luongo doesn't get traded, and if Corey Schneider can reclaim the starting role, would you ever buy out Luongo, or would you just keep him as the most expensive backup ever?
I think you'd have to buy him out if you can't trade him.
You have to consider it.
Yeah, it's definitely something you have to think about. I mean, you want to have that goalie tandem, but you don't want to have a goalie tandem where the cap hit is like astronomical compared to your starter. Yeah.
Cheap goalie tandem.
Yeah. So yeah,
the less money they make, the more incentive they have to play better.
Absolutely.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Luongo's just.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's gonna be labeled a loser for all of his life. I think. I don't.
Which
think
is very unfortunate.
Which is not like.
I mean, he's how far removed from that 40 or 50 win season?
That was the year. Was that the year they went into the finals?
Yeah, I believe
against
so.
Boston, right?
Brodeur had the 50 wins, and Luongo had like
48. I think it was. Yeah, that was.
He's not far removed from
no,
that. And
he came very close to winning.
And he has a gold medal.
And right now he's at like a 1.5 goals against average.
Something like that.
Yeah, we'll find out for you.
I think he's either in the league, in the lead, or he's third.
Vancouver is fourth as a team.
Yeah.
Vancouver has a team,
and that's not because of Schneider.
Yeah, 2.08. So.
Speaking of Vancouver, congrats to Henrik Sedin.
Yeah, very. Is Daniel too far behind? Because I know he got.
No, he's like 40 points.
Because he got hurt that one year, right?
Yeah, he was hurt a little bit.
That's the only reason why he's far behind.
Yeah.
The Twins were crazy. Like before that, did you see what their stats were? They were 1 point off of each other.
Identical.
Yeah. It's and Henrik Daniel's the goal scorer, and Henrik is the setup guy.
You know what? Honestly,
Henrik's the dish master.
He's okay.
But then it flip flops. A couple seasons, then Henrik will score and Daniel will dish.
Well, didn't they each lead the league in points?
They've each won our Ross.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there you go. I mean,
like back to back too.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They're just incredible.
Yeah.
Henrik took over from Marcus Naslund.
Mm-hmm.
Any more buyout?
Any more buyouts? Back to the Flyers. Why not Wayne Simmons?
I don't know.
I don't know if he's turned it on this year.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd buy him out because he's still young. I think the obvious one for the Flyers would be the Brizgalov. Again, I don't know.
Or what about Pronger? Can they buy him out?
I don't think you can.
And over a certain age.
Over 35.
Yeah.
And also, how many more seasons does he have left? I think only like a couple anyway, right?
Well, he signed like a 6-year thing, didn't he?
Go to Cap.
Yeah.
He had a lot of numbers there.
Because, I mean, he's at like 38?
Something like that.
His age?
Yeah.
Or is he like
he's not 40 yet?
He's like 37, 38.
Yeah, I know he's close to 40, if not 40, but...
He's been around forever.
Yeah, so even if Pronger does come back and he's a shell of himself, you don't buy out Pronger.
Yeah,
I know I just made the argument that you would buy out LeCavier, but Pronger is the Flyers' defense.
Oh, yeah.
He's their identity.
Yeah, and so regardless of that horrible cap hit, if he stinks, you can't buy him out.
Apparently there's a buyout on here already for them.
What'd they buy out?
Bartulis.
Oh.
I don't know if that counts, though. I don't know if that's the same thing. Chris Pronger is signed for 5 more years.
And does it say the age?
It's 35 plus. So let's click on him. Yeah.
Now, with the buyouts in mind, where do you think some of these displaced veterans
where would
land?
they go?
Like, for instance, DiPietro. In my opinion, Columbus would be well spent to buy the money. Low risk, high reward contract. 2 years, $4 million. 1 year, $5 million. Well, probably not $5 million. He wouldn't demand that much.
Oh no, they'd be fools giving that much money. You gotta give him minimal.
But that's going to be a very interesting free agency class with all these buyouts if they do go into effect. Again, not just what I'm saying. If just GMs buy out players, you're going to have a lot of interesting options.
Absolutely.
Wade Redden was a great pickup for St. Louis.
Oh my God, yeah.
Great pickup for $1 million.
Oh, was he
already?
Was he really?
Really? It's over.
This
already?
poor guy. Yeah.
The honeymoon is over.
Chris Pronger is 38, by the way.
38.
There you go.
But I mean, like, Redden brings a good attitude. He's a good locker room presence. Great with the young defenders. Good team guy.
Yeah.
He's put some stats up this year too. Doesn't he have like 6 assists already?
He scored
Something like that.
In his first 2 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing with Redden was, I didn't mind him as a Ranger, but he was the victim of the market.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was the same year where they re-signed Michael Roosevelt to almost $5 million a year.
That wasn't the Scott Gomez and Drew year, was it? That wasn't the same year, right?
The year after.
It
was after it?
Yeah, it was the year after. 07, 08 was Gomez and Drury.
And it's funny to think about that. Glenn Sather is going to be 2 buyouts, with the Gomez contract and the Redden. So maybe the third if my prediction is right, the Brad Richards, but
He's a magician. For all the bad he has done, he's done a little bit.
he is an amazing GM in terms of trade.
It seems he finally learned. He finally learned.
Honestly, and every trade deadline, he pulls off a trade where he gives up nothing and he gets a marginal return. Even the Roosevelt for Wolski trade, while Wolski didn't do much, that was still a great gamble. He had such a great upside.
He is now in Washington, I believe, right?
Yeah, he's in Washington doing nothing.
So on buyouts, you said Ovechkin?
I would buy out Ovechkin, absolutely.
You would?
And I wrote an article about that. Even if he puts up 30 goals for the rest of his career, you can't have a player putting up only 30 goals and making $9.5 million.
As your cap hit.
As your cap hit, yeah. And again, that's for life.
Yeah.
That's above Crosby. That's above Malkin. It's above Lundqvist. I mean, you're talking about the best players in the game, and he's making more and not playing at that level anymore. You can't do that.
If they ever bought out Ovechkin, hockey would leave Washington.
Probably.
And it would cripple the franchise, I think. It would cripple them.
It would.
He's the draw. He's the guy.
Well, I mean, they have a lot of pieces there, though. They still, that's why they're my disappointment.
Have you been to the arena in Washington?
Once, yes.
Every jersey is number 8. Every jersey.
I have my green jersey, so.
I know you do.
No, I saw a couple. You see Backstrom jerseys too.
Yeah, I mean, but let's.
Number 8 is.
And you still see Peter Bondra jersey.
Yeah, let's call a spade a spade. I mean, after the lockout, the Crosby Ovechkin marketing push by the NHL really did its effect.
Absolutely, yeah.
See, the only reason why I would argue that you buy out Ovechkin is because you can't trade him. There's no team that's going to take on that cap hit, or that has the space and the pieces to get him. Columbus has plenty of space, but first of all, you think Ovechkin's going to want to go to Columbus. Secondly, is John Davidson crazy enough to say, I'm going to take that big risk and give up maybe Tim Erickson, who he just acquired, the draft picks, all the young talent that it would take to get him?
No, that would be a gigantic gamble. And
yeah.
Like you said, I don't think any team is willing to pull the trigger on a deal.
Especially now with the new CBA and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
I want to point out that I'm sitting with 2 Ranger fans, and not one of them mentioned to buy out Kovalchuk. You've thrown that idea to me before, and I told you I don't think so at all.
Yeah, I don't know if you could. I mean, I think he's a dynamic player. He helps that power play too. He's what a Nash and Gaborik should do. He looks to shoot all the time. That is
not true. He's actually been pretty. He's been passing it up. He's actually been pissing me off.
Really? I stand corrected.
He's playing the part of playmaker late, but he has found the back on the net lately.
Yeah.
And he's actually back to a point per game. So, he does too much for the team for him to buy him out.
I don't think you could buy him out, especially when Brodeur retires. If you're the Devils, you can't buy them out. I know I'm kind of contradicting myself a lot in talking about face of the franchise, and I argued buy out Lecavalier.
Yeah. But they have Stamkos.
Yeah.
If you don't have Stamkos, I don't think you're talking about buying out Lecavalier.
And even St. Louis too. I mean, he's such a
unbelievable.
Oh.
That's one of the best field goal stories of the history of the league.
He's gonna be Solani. He's gonna be playing until
absolutely.
43, 44.
Absolutely.
I hope so, because he's still electric.
I love it. He's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, he brings such a great skill set to the game. Yep. His vision, his speed, his just work ethic in general. He's a great player.
Back to the Kovalchuk thing. I agree. I don't think I would buy him out.
I
don't like the guy. Don't get me wrong.
There was a question you had for me before the podcast.
Oh, I did. Yes. Okay. If you answer this the way I think you're going to answer it, I'm going to punch you in the head.
Which means I'm probably going to answer it that way, but go ahead.
And I'm going to get to watch this, so.
What is the biggest goal that has ever been scored in Devils history?
The Jason O'Neill goal.
Thank you. Thank God. All right. Most Devil fans are going to say, oh, it's Adam Henrique last year because he beat the Rangers.
Oh, no, because they lost in the finals.
Thank you.
That's, okay, let's get on that. All right, that series is over to me now. Obviously,
that's what I wanted to hear.
This is like I hate a lot of Devil fans because they look too much like we haven't won since 2003.
Yes.
Last year doesn't mean anything to me anymore. Yes, they made a great run. It was magical and all that stuff, but they fell short.
Yeah. They interviewed DeBoer, and he said Devil fans have been coming up and thanking me for beating the Rangers, and he's like, "That's all well and good. We lost in the final."
That's why DeBoer is quickly becoming my favorite coach the Devils have had. My favorite is Pat Burns, and then below him is now Pete DeBoer.
Because it's proof that the Ranger Devil thing doesn't mean that much to the players and the coaches, but it means everything to the fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it gives bragging rights.
Yeah, exactly.
I've had people tell me that the Henry goal is the biggest goal. I'm like, are you out of
It's not even.
He didn't win anything.
It's up there. It is up there. Just because.
He didn't win anything.
But yeah, it's not. It's probably maybe top 5 in their history. but it's not. I mean, you go the Arnott goal. You can even go the John McClain goal in the '88 to get the Devils to the playoffs.
Yes.
The Jeff Friesen goal against Ottawa.
That was a big goal. When the Rangers were kicking the tires on Jason Arnott and they said he signed, Devil fans, oh, you can have me, sucks. And I'm like, didn't he or did he?
Yeah, did he or did he not? Yeah.
The franchise. He won a freaking Stanley Cup. Oh, he sucks.
Or whatever. Yeah. Cool. Cool.
I mean, that argument would be similar to like the Ranger fans saying that Brad Richards' goal against Washington with 4 seconds left, is the biggest goal ever
in Major history. Yeah, it's like, are you retarded?
Yeah. It was a great goal, magical, but
yeah,
you had the chance to win the game in overtime.
Yeah.
I mean, you wound up winning the series, but it's a big goal. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's not the biggest goal.
Yeah, exactly. There's no end with the cup, so.
Exactly.
All right, so we're gonna go to a.
Question, so thank you for answering.
So I answered the right way.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
I don't get to see someone get punched in
Damn
that.
it. I'll try and pose another question.
So something bad happened over last week. I hate to change the subject here, but we've all seen the Erik Karlsson the injury. Those who haven't seen it, Matt Cook. We all know Matt Cook likes to step over the balance a little bit. He goes to finish his check on Erik Karlsson, and for some reason his leg comes up, and then as his leg goes down to start skating again, he stomps on. He doesn't really stomp. It hits Erik Karlsson's Achilles. Things it ruptures it clean, and Erik Karlsson's done for the rest of the season. My question is it intentional? And I'll kick it to you, Alex.
So I don't know what his leg was doing there, and he does have a history, but I don't think it was intentional. I am curious on why he brought his leg up, and I know Aaron Ward tried to explain, that's how you pin someone in.
No,
you don't have to do that. Again, was it intentional? Did he know he would do that? I would hope not. And even just watching the clip, the replays and everything like that, there doesn't seem to be that intent. But again, I'm just very curious on why his leg was there in the first place, why it was up.
And when he brings his foot down, he doesn't make a stomping action.
Exactly.
Like, it was him that stomped on Ruutu, wasn't it? Was it him that stomped on Jarkko Ruutu? By the bench, and he actually stomps down. I'm not sure if it was him or not. But it didn't look like there was too much, there's no, maliciousness into it.
But here's the thing now. This is the type of player he's become. Every time there's an incident, the first thing you think of, it's intentional.
Yeah.
That's the first thing now with this guy. The way I see it was, he's putting his foot there, he's putting his foot down. I don't see his foot ever trying to go down to the ice. I don't know why his foot is up in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Keep it down. It's like... You're gonna do once you put your skate up like that, the harm is gonna come from it.
It looks like he's trying to maybe get a better body position to maybe close him off, or maybe use. I don't know. To me, I don't think it's intentional either. But it's weird. It doesn't look like he loses his balance.
I think there was some intent to it.
You do?
I really do. Yeah. Only because to me it looked like he was not making an intent to put his skate on the ice. He was looking for something else. Here's his leg. Let's try this.
So now, do you think he intended to cut him like he did, or kind of a knee? Like, what would you argue the intent would have been then?
I don't think he intended to hurt him the way he did. I just think he wanted to stir the pot. Like, all right, let me do something.
He wanted to be Zach Ronaldo.
Zach Ronaldo shouldn't even be in this league. He shouldn't be playing anywhere. He should be playing the California People League with Vaughn. I mean, that's what I think.
Well, the sad thing is, the Penguins have deceptively become a dirty team.
Yes, they have.
You have people like Brooks Orpik, won the arguably clean hit on Kreider that he did last year with Stepan when he blatantly put his knee out to try to take out Stepan's knee.
100% clean. What are you talking about?
No Shanahan there.
And it's just unfortunate that this will always persist, that the league will favor the Penguins. I mean, you can talk about whether it's the calls, you could talk about the cap hit. Come on, James Neal signs for $5 million. He scores 40 goals a year. We have Ryan Callahan scoring 25, and he signs for 4.25. Come on, get real.
I don't think that's a league thing, though. I think that comes up from a bitter Rangers fan. That's just my honest assessment.
I mean, let's just look at the.
But
you go on Cap Geek. Look at some of the numbers.
No, yeah.
Kunitz 3.25 at a 25 goal scorer a year. You sign him for 3.25? Really? I mean, how do you pull that one off?
That's what I'm hoping that Clarkson signs for. It's like a 3.3 hit.
Clarkson may, because that's different. Clarkson has the 2 breakout years. He doesn't really have the body of work. Kunitz was always a consistent player.
Yeah.
Could have taken it.
Even in Anaheim, he was too.
Yeah. He could have been like James Neal and really thrived in Pittsburgh and put up huge numbers. Mm-hmm. He hasn't. But the point is, there's just so many things where it's like, all right,
How do they do this?
yeah, how does everyone fit under the cap?
It's like, how do you have Malkin, Crosby, Letang, Fleury, and still you're under the
And
cap?
I think they're like 8 million under the cap.
Yeah,
too.
they
not,
have-
not just borderline, like a clear they can.
Yeah, like they were in the running for Zach Parise. Like, how
Yeah.
the hell were you going to afford that?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, but also back to my point. So if you look on, penalties, power play opportunities for like the past 6 or 7 years, the Penguins have consistently ranked in the top 5 of power play opportunities. And is that a coincidence?
No, Crosby's just really good at.
Yeah, he's
I can't-
also
I
really
can't
good
say
at.
with a straight back and
He's
say it
also
with a
really good
straight
at
face.
slew footing too.
It's like Kobe getting a call driving the lane. Oh, he gets
Yeah.
5 foul shots for that one. You know?
And Yager said it very well a couple years ago. Look, I understand you favor the superstars. The NBA did it with Michael Jordan. It's not a surprise. It's just really unfortunate that they feel the need to do it, and not just the NHL, any league, because at some point the talent has to just be able to rise above it. You have to be that good, and they are. With Crosby and Malkin, they are that good.
Oh, he's in
They
the
don't-
box right now.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, today is Hockey Day in America, so happy Hockey Day, everyone. You're gonna hear us like I guess a dip in our concentration levels because we do have the Penguins Buffalo game on, and Crosby just took a penalty.
Yeah, I
It was a
heard.
cross check from behind.
I heard in Hockey Day in America, every American gets beer.
Yeah,
They all get Labatt Blue.
and if, for some reason they sang the Canadian national anthem, so I don't understand that.
Yeah, but again, yes, I know I sound like Anthony said. I sound like a bitter Ranger fan about the Penguins, but there's just so many things that it doesn't add up in a cap world. If you're talking about baseball where there is no cap, where it's just luxury tax, that makes sense. But when you have such a small leeway in terms of maneuverability, and you're still signing all these guys, and they'll probably re-sign Malkin, and he'll probably take less money to do it. He'll probably sign for under Crosby's contract. That just doesn't add up.
No,
Do you
they
think-
found a way.
Do you think it's funny that Crosby's cap hit is 8.7? Like the whole thing why he is 87, right? He's
I
born
do.
August 7th, 1987, so 87.
They
I-
like to make me vomit.
Him and his purple lips.
Yeah, and his
He's so
duck-billed
good though.
platypus. He's the best player
Yeah,
in the world.
yeah.
Player. He could just go about it differently.
Yeah, right.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
There,
Just go out there and be the best.
Yeah.
Stop attracting attention to yourself in the wrong way.
So I brought him up recently, but like a player like Michael Jordan, he went out and did it the right way. Kobe arguably can be considered doing it the right way, except for that whole Cleveland debacle.
LeBron, not Kobe. You said Kobe.
Oh yeah, sorry, Kobe. Yeah, LeBron. Derek Jeter. You have players that are that good and doing it the right way,
Mhm.
and he's just doing everything wrong. When he slides in for a fight and punches a guy in the nuts, when he slew fights people, when he complains all the time to refs.
Which he has gotten. He has actually died down that a lot, but yeah, like you said, he still does do it.
Yeah.
It's not like his rookie year anymore.
Kobe beat his wife though.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people can argue, okay, he was immature, he was young,
Buffalo just scored.
but that's.
Oh, what a shot!
But I don't really think that that's an excuse, because if you're supposed to be the superstar that you are, you have to understand that there is responsibility with that. And regardless of your age, I know it's asking a lot of an 18, 19, 20-year-old who's making X amount of money, and also in marketing too, to be a nice guy and not a jerk on the ice. I know that's tough, but that's what you have to do if you're the superstar. If you're the face of the league, you have to be better than that.
I'll take the words right out of Claude Lemieux's mouth. What does the C on your jersey stand for? Selfish? Claude does not.
No.
But not, he just has to present himself.
Absolutely.
Because every time you see him on the ice, I don't know if it is his fault that he's being portrayed this way. It's just like,
Yeah.
stop.
And
And it's always against the bigger market teams.
he's not helping himself with the Flyers.
No.
Just what he says about them.
Philly hates him.
Yeah.
New York hates him. I don't know why Devil fans have a love affair with him.
I'm the only Dolphin I know that can tolerate him.
But it's like, bring attention to yourself because you are
Yeah.
one of the best players in the world. not
Exactly.
because you sleuth with people
Yeah.
and you cry on the ice.
I mean, Yankee fans used to hate Ken Griffey Jr. because he was the best, not because he was a jerk.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid, no one could hate him.
Yeah.
But Crosby, you find so many reasons to hate the guy.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate for hockey.
I want the number one reason to hate him to be is because he's so damn good. That's what
Exactly.
The number one reason.
Like Stamkos, I don't hate the guy at all. He's just an amazingly talented
He's
player.
a freak. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
He makes me want to do the Gary Roberts workout.
Watching them play because you're just like, how could you be so good?
Yeah.
But I don't hate anything about the guy. I don't hate how he goes about his business.
Exactly.
Crosby, it's just the exact opposite. I hate everything about him.
Yeah. It's his own fault.
Yeah. Anthony's furiously writing.
No, yeah, it's reminding me to do something later.
He's writing his grocery list.
No,
I gotta pick up some milk.
Fuck you, I'll do it now then. Pass Pass Shoot is on Twitter. Follow us guys at Pass Pass Shoot. I'm PPS Anthony on Twitter, and Chris, you are.
I don't remember my handle.
I think it's like Chris Cows.
Hold on, I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay, yeah, and Alex isn't on Twitter.
I'm not on Twitter, and I won't be. I had to be on it for a job, and I did not like that. So
Really?
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying I didn't like the job. I just didn't like
the
Twitter.
Twitter, yeah.
I mean, I really, to be honest, I don't even like Facebook anymore. But that's under that.
My handle is at ChrisCal0215, so don't do anything.
Tell him he looks pretty.
I am not pretty, thank you.
We have faces built for radio. So.
Yeah, this is why there's not on the webcam
Are we gonna do some predictions?
Yes. We need a schedule. What we're gonna do every week. What we're gonna do every week. I hit the microphone. What we're gonna do every week is pick 5 games from the week and I guess come up with winners and see how we do and kind of like a football pick 'em. We won't do like no goal spread, just straight up on hockey and hockey. Schedule. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Like, I mean, I wrote down like relocation or like
Oh, I think we could save that for the next podcast.
Next one?
We
Okay.
gotta leave him wanting more. So.
Yeah.
That's it.
Any local stuff you guys wanted to talk about?
I've aired.
I think we pretty much got it for.
I've aired my
Jackass
grievances about the
better
Rangers.
score 5 goals tonight.
Yeah, if you don't score at least 5 goals on Hope Beer and Waverth, you should be shot.
They're bad.
Today's the 17th, right?
Yes.
Oh, look at that. NHL put you right next to it. So we'll do Monday to Sundays?
Mhm.
Is that cool?
1 month, they'll say that.
So while Anthony is looking up the time, I'm also going to do a shameless self-plug. I have 2 comedy shows coming up this weekend.
Plug away.
On Saturday night, I'll be performing at Broadway Comedy Club at 6:30. And on Sunday, I'll be performing at 8 o'clock at Tierney's in Montclair. So if you're a fan of us talking about hockey, you may be a fan of me telling some borderline racy jokes.
You guys should
Not
do it 'cause
racist, racy.
it's actually really funny.
It's good stuff.
It
yeah.
is. All right, so do you want to do like one on Monday, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday? Or you just want to do 5 games out of the week?
Whatever you feel.
It'll be easier just to. All right. So on Monday,
Yeah.
I'm going to take. It's not really an upset, but I'm actually going to take I'm going to act like it's an upset. I'm going to take the Islanders over the Flyers. Not really much of an upset, but
Interesting. Both young, talented.
Yeah.
A lot of firepower. Both questionable goaltending.
That's
Both
my,
European goalies.
yeah,
Can I make one comment about the Islanders, though?
yeah, absolutely.
John Tavares is the man. That's all.
He's
Yeah.
so
Oh,
good.
oh my God, yes.
Ridiculous.
Yes.
He's made Molson so good because
He's
of it
made
too.
the Islanders half likable.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I hate to say that as a Ranger fan, but they're half likable.
I think honestly, what would behoove that franchise the most is trading Nino needed
Nina Ryder.
and trade him for a defenseman too. They're a team that definitely needs an upgrade back in the blue line.
Yeah.
Also, they could benefit from a better goalie because the Bakov is way past his prime. DiPietro is a violent sneeze away from a career-ending injury. So
Ow, my hangnail.
There's a lot of good games on Tuesday.
I'm also gonna agree though with Anthony on the Islanders.
Tuesday. All right. There's a lot of good games on Tuesday. Wow. I'm gonna take Tampa over Toronto.
Interesting.
Wednesday. By the way, I love the rivalry Wednesday thing.
Yeah, that's.
Although I'm sick of seeing St. Louis and Detroit every
Yeah.
week.
I'm
no,
going
it is,
to,
but it's like change it up.
Come on, Red Wings, Blues. You want it every week.
I'm going to actually take Toronto in that game, man.
Okay.
I'm not
Wednesday you
gonna make my
have
own picks. I'm just gonna go off ants.
Wednesday you have Philly and Pittsburgh. You have St. Louis and Colorado and LA and Calgary. I'm gonna take Pittsburgh over Philly.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, actually, no. I don't feel confident. I'm taking LA over Calgary.
Well, does Pittsburgh play the next day or the night before?
They play.
The next day, Friday.
That's a Wednesday.
I'm trying to
That's
think
that's a Wednesday.
I was
By
trying
the
to
way.
think of the goaltender
my
matchups.
bad.
Pittsburgh doesn't play. They play Sunday. They don't play Monday.
Penguins play Wednesday, Friday.
Wednesday, Friday. Yep. So it's you're gonna get Fleury versus Bouchard.
Yeah.
Thursday. I'm gonna pick the Devils over Washington. Just because it's the first podcast and I want to take the Devils in something.
I would hope that you wouldn't root against the Devils.
Yeah. No, there are times where I'm like, they don't match up well. Not as a fan. I'm like, oh, I have my faith, but like no, I don't know.
Kind of sounded like Chico there.
Oh, I know.
I tell you that Josephson there, Doc.
But there wasn't like a turkey leg in my mouth.
Chico eats, baby.
Chico eats.
They don't do that anymore, though.
Oh, yeah, that was Saturday, I think. That was Thursday.
I saw on Yahoo, again, I didn't watch the game, so you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. Yahoo was saying that they quoted Chico saying Ponorowski is the guy that's being fingered right now.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah. No, he says that a lot when there's like a penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Just subject to interpretation.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Friday we have San Jose versus Chicago. That's a good one.
Wow.
I'm gonna stick with my guns and go with that's San Jose is winning that one.
Yeah.
I'm thinking San Jose.
There's no wrong pick with that. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
it.
go with Chicago just because.
I hope that's on the NHL. It is. It's on NHL Network.
Yeah.
Awesome. I will be watching that. And then Saturday, taking Buffalo over the Islanders.
I'm gonna stick with the Islanders.
Yeah. Do you want? I don't know if you want to take your shots at this. By the way, we'll have these picks a lot. It'll be a lot, smoother next week.
You're writing them down?
No, I just kind of just said on my head.
Oh, okay.
So I like how Anthony purposefully avoided the Rangers, Montreal.
Twice. They play twice, I think, next
Yeah.
week.
Big game for Vinny Danfus next week for the Canadians. Like in
Um,
'96.
Yeah, you kind of need the microphone, Alex.
No, I was going to give Chris the schedule so he can.
Oh, okay.
Here, I'm
perfect.
set. Thank you.
So I talked about some of Ant's picks. Let's see. On Tuesday, who am I gonna go with? I went with Toronto Wednesday. Thursday, let's talk about Thursday. I'm gonna go with. Well, I was gonna actually go with Ottawa before Carlson got injured, but I'll go with the Rangers when they play Ottawa on Thursday.
Rangers over Ottawa.
Yeah. On Friday, I'm gonna go with Vancouver over Nashville.
Good pick. That could be a good game.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, if
That's either gonna be a one-goal game or someone's gonna get blown out.
exactly, if Rene and both Luongo come to play, or if Schneider.
Schneider, yeah.
But that should be a very interesting game to watch. So on Saturday, I'm gonna go with Winnipeg over Philadelphia.
Ooh, I like
For
it.
No specific
Bold.
reason.
I
just-
like it.
They're having a decent year.
They're having a decent year, but I'm not putting any logic to it. I just feel like that's a game. that
It jumped off the iPad.
Yeah. So and then Sunday, I'm gonna go with Columbus over Chicago. Mark my words, folks.
And Alex is gonna go 5-0.
Columbus will win that game.
He's not drinking, folks. He's not drinking. Oh yeah, you have it. All right. For Monday, I found a perfect game for the Leafs to fall back to earth against the Panthers.
Can we stop with the whole there's a parade going to Toronto like the internet saying?
No, it
Oh,
happened
yeah.
'Cause-
already.
Yeah.
It happened already.
It happened already.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they've had their parade.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Isn't Nazem Kadri still playing or what?
So
That's
he's
Don Cherry's boy.
something like that.
Nazem Kadri.
Because he's Canadian. Because he's
Oh.
Canadian.
Is he Canadian?
I think so.
Or he's Arab?
Yeah, I was gonna say with a name like
No, but I think he's actually from Canada. I have no idea.
History is probably.
Probably, yeah.
Oh.
Like Jerome McGinley,
Yeah.
you know. You don't really see.
The Panthers over the Leafs. Let's see. Tuesday.
So we definitely
Predators
should have been a lot more
Red
prepared with
Wings,
this.
I think.
Predators over Red Wings?
Yes.
I was thinking about that too. That's a good
Because
pick.
over the
Good
years,
pick.
I think the Predators had their number now. They finally beat them in the playoffs.
Are we gonna see another Georgie Animal Steel head smash to Zebrik's face?
Please no. No. That's not good. I just
Yeah,
want
that-
to see George the Animal Steel on the ice.
That would-
with
be
with his blue lips.
that would be awesome.
we try to eat like the boards. Or something.
The boards. Or like
He
punching
goes into blue
glass.
paint.
Yeah.
Oh.
That would not be a good sight. Wednesday, I will take Colorado at home over the Blues.
Okay.
That's my boy Simeon Varlamov.
Landeskog's coming back soon, isn't he?
Who's that?
Landeskog, he's coming back soon, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's not back yet, right? But
No,
he
he's
is.
not.
He's the captain of that team, which is unbelievable.
And he's
That's
what?
He's
20?
19?
19.
19, 20, yeah.
Over
That's-
Hayduk, over Stastny.
It's a good call, though.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I'll let you finish the picks. I want to come back to this now.
sure. Thursday, I'm going to take my Rangers in Ottawa to lose.
Believe Alex took that
That's
pick
a
too.
perfect,
Well, no, I said I would have if Carlson
would've,
was. If Carlson was there,
That's
but
the perfect trap game, though.
Yes,
for the Rangers.
absolutely.
Not enough players there to do
absolutely.
harm. But
That's the Giants versus the Cardinals when Dallas is on the horizon.
Exactly. Yep. On Friday, I'll go to the San Jose Chicago game as well, and I'll take the Hawks at home.
Oh, so we have a head-to-head here.
I'll take the Hawks at home on that one.
All right.
Saturday, I think the Rangers get off the schneid and beat the Canadians. I'll pick them twice in the same week.
And Lundqvist won't be playing that game because
No,
it's in
that's all
because in
Montreal.
Montreal.
Montreal's a house of horrors
Yeah.
for Henrik. And on Sunday, what do we have on Sunday?
You want to pick the Columbus and Chicago game and see?
I'm gonna stay away from that one. But I'm gonna piss off Anthony here and take Winnipeg over the Devils.
Why is that gonna piss me off?
Well, because you'll probably think the Devils are gonna win 8-0.
No.
No, that's what Columbus is gonna win.
Yeah, that's good.
Chicago 8-0,
Columbus, okay.
and Artem Anisimov will have 6 goals.
6 goals.
All assisted by Dubinsky.
Yeah.
Trubisky, yeah.
So I'll take Winnipeg as a little surprise win.
That was your Saturday game. Was that your last game?
That was my Sunday.
I don't think it is Sunday game. I'll think of something. I'll take that. How about that? I'll take Winnipeg over the Devils
Okay,
too.
sure.
Oh, I'll actually be at that game, so I will take the Devils over
Nice.
Winnipeg then.
Okay.
If I didn't pick a Sunday.
I guess we'll talk about Stasny at a later date. I just wanted to see what you think his future with Colorado. Is it there or is it somewhere else?
Somewhere else. I think somewhere else.
I think there's a chance it could be somewhere else. I really
Yeah.
do. Because it seems like he's fallen out of favor with them.
And I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should have been made captain, but like I said, we can have that.
Yeah, that'll be another discussion. I will write that down now. Alright, so I guess that's gonna be it, guys. Thanks, guys, for coming over, hanging out with me, talking hockey. We're trying to make this a weekly thing.
We'll see you on episode 2.
And I promise to have wrestling references in the next episode.
Follow us, guys, on Twitter. We also have Facebook, facebook.com/ I think it's Pass Shoot. I think that's what it is. And
Come prepared, did you?
no, I really did not. We will talk to you guys later. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.